howdy partner to our friend Tim McMahon, but because 2016 champ Iman Shumpert is in the house. Iman, welcome to NBA Today.
Y'all for having me.
You ready for this? It's going to be a fun show. You get to spend the rest of the week with us, and around these parts when Shams breaks news right before, that is exactly where we start our show. Let's say hello to our senior insider, Shams Charania. Shams, you reported this morning that finally the Suns and Bradley Beal, they have agreed to a contract buyout. Now he's headed to Los Angeles. What are the details of this deal with the Clippers?
Malika, I'm told Bradley Beal gave up almost $14 million to buy out of the Phoenix Suns and join the Los Angeles Clippers. 2 years, $11 million. His deal will have a player option next summer, so he's slated to be one of the top free agents next offseason. But this is someone that had $110 million left on his contract over the next 2 years. Obviously, did not work out in Phoenix. It was a failed 2-year experiment with Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. And so over the last few weeks, Bradley Beal, his representative Mark Bartelstein, they've been talking and meeting with several teams around the league. Aside from the Clippers, we've seen the Bucks, the Lakers, Warriors, Timberwolves, Heat, all were involved here in this process. But Bradley Beal this morning decided to sign with the Clippers and team up with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden.
The Bucks, the Lakers, the Golden State Warriors, and yet the Los Angeles Clippers, Shams, are the team that prevails here. What was so attractive to Bradley Beal about joining LA?
Here's something interesting. I'm told James Harden was a focal point in recruiting Bradley Beal internally, but also speaking directly to Beal and his camp. And the Clippers really view Bradley Beal as a perfect fit alongside Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, being able to shoot 50% from the field, 40% from three-point range last season. He shot career highs in two-point field goals as well as at the rim last season. And so this is a player that has three-time All-Star experience. He's a former All-NBA player as well. They see him as a natural, seamless fit at the starting shooting guard position after the trade of Norman Powell.
Yeah, it's sort of a clear role that he slots into for the Los Angeles Clippers. Shams, thank you so very much for that insight as we bring it back here inside our studios. Iman, do you like this move here for Los Angeles?
I like the move just because I enjoy watching Bradley Beal play basketball.
Right.
Of course, you know. But I am at the point now where I'm looking at it how you would look at a James Harden, how you would look at a Paul George, where we're saying, where do you take your team? What do you add to your team at this point, especially with you getting older? Now we have some injuries that come along. What can you add to this team and what's going to put me over the hump come playoff time? When I look at Bradley Beal, I feel like these are pressure situations because now we've paired you up with different superstars and we kind of got the same result. So you start looking around the league and you start looking for that younger guy. You don't want to become that guy that it's like, oh, he's got the years, he's got the mileage on him, but we can't really get anything out of him. You got to produce, and you got to produce it efficiently if you're going to come and join superstars like that.
Look, the Norm Powell trade is now complete. The Clippers make that deal confident that they can get Bradley Beal, who, at franchise player money, at $50 million plus per year, it was a disaster in Phoenix. It was also a bad fit in Phoenix. He's being paid ninth man money now with the Clippers. There is a clear-cut role. They've got a great defensive infrastructure around him. This is the best team in LA getting better. This is a team that pushed the Denver Nuggets to 7 games in the first round that got significantly better today. And I think he is a great fit as a guy who, look, it didn't work in Phoenix, but he averaged 18 points per game for the Suns, 50, 40, 80. He can still put the ball in the hole. And I just think he's a much better fit with the Clippers and a much better contract, obviously, for the Clippers than it was in Phoenix.
It seems like it all comes down to the value here for Bradley Beal. It's not just the player that he is, but the value that they're getting him at. And it's very, very different looking at him on this contract than you were on the contract necessarily with the Phoenix Suns here. What is it that he can show you? You said you were all fans of Bradley Beal, of watching him play here. But what do you need to see from him to answer that question that you're asking? Because it's a fair one.
Understanding that you're coming to play with James Harden. Understanding how we're going to space this floor, how am I going to help him at the end of games when I feel like the indecisiveness comes in, the 3 minutes of no scoring happening, not being able to get certain mismatches on the other end. So now you're going to have to be able to step up and guard somebody you weren't normally going to guard. Like, those are the things that you have to come and do alongside of James Harden and a Kawhi Leonard. When Kawhi Leonard can't go out there and guard the head of the snake, can you come out there and guard the head of the snake? I want him to be able to insert himself in a different way. And it's not a bad pressure at all.
Yeah.
This could be a great pressure for Bradley Beal. This could be a great spot for him. Like you were saying, I love that he's, getting this done. You're getting this done for cheap. You know what I'm saying? You're getting superstar quality for cheap. I understand he's not a rock star in this league anymore, but he's been there. He's been to the show, and he's been in a playoff battle. So you want to see him come and join the team. I don't want him to fall into those things where in the playoffs, I'm not really worried about a Bradley Beal.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want that to be the consensus across the league of, if we see Bradley Beal, we're not worried about him in the playoffs.
When you say play with James Harden, I think that is a plus here. People think of James Harden, they think of Houston Rockets James Harden. They think of he's got the ball in his hands all the time. He's scoring 35 points per game. James Harden's game has evolved. He is now one of the best table-setting point guards in the NBA. And I think you look at what Norm Powell was able to do for the Clippers last year, credit him. He obviously had probably the best year of his career. I think playing with James Harden really benefited Norm Powell, and they didn't have that table setter in Phoenix. I think Beal is in a great situation because he's playing next to James Harden.
Real quick, on the Phoenix side of all of this achieves more flexibility for them here, Tim?
They have a shovel, and they are digging out of the massive hole that they have created during the microwave Matt Ishby area. No, I'm not kidding.
A second apron team here to a luxury tax team. Able to have a little bit more flexibility. I see our Schwartz Center over here, our researcher, is saying we need to hit Phoenix's side of this.
He's very excited to be able to have Bradley Beal on the books for $19 million a year over the next 5 years. Look, the KD trade was a bust for them. They took back, I'll say nickels on the dollar. I won't say pennies on the dollar. They're letting Beal go for nothing. Yes, they're getting some flexibility, but he's going to count $19 million a year on their cap for 5 years moving forward. But this is a recognition in Phoenix that their all-in philosophy is a failure. And again, they have a shovel. They are starting to dig out of the hole that they've created.
And they're saying, all right, we're going to continue to build here around Devin Booker, and we're going to officially now close this chapter because we've been expecting this for weeks, and finally we have a resolution for Bradley Beal heading to the Los Angeles Clippers. All right, from the Pelicans team yesterday, he only played 30 games last season because of injuries. They were 10-20 with him in the lineup. Tim, do you think this is a make-or-break season for Zion and his future with New Orleans?
Well, I certainly think it is a fresh start for Zion. Had there not been a change in the front office, I believe he would have been on the trade block this summer. Obviously, you've got Joe Dumars coming in. It's a get-to-know-you phase. It is an opportunity for Zion this season to prove, first, that he can stay healthy, and also that he can be the face of the franchise in New Orleans.
And I certainly hope that we get to see that play out because he's so exciting and fun to watch when he is on the floor. Another star in attendance in Vegas, Trae Young. He is eligible for a 4-year extension for a projected $222 million this summer. Woohoo! Our Bobby Marks joining us now. You know the money, Bobby. Would this be a smart move for Atlanta?
It wouldn't, not right now, Malika. Certainly for an Atlanta team that has revamped their roster. 4 for $222. Remember, he's been eligible since the NBA Finals ended here, and I think in a day and age of smart roster building, committing $50 million per year for Trae Young right now is not the smart move.
I do like, though, the roster that the Atlanta Hawks have put together this summer. They could really be poised to make an interesting run. All right, John Morant, he spoke to Dave McMenamin. Confidence high, as it always is with the Grizzlies.
I'm always confident in us. My mindset now is just, make sure I'm out there and available. And I feel like, when I'm out there on the floor, we got the opportunity versus any team. So a lot of talent in the West, but yeah.
Not quite I'm fine in the West, but not far off. Iman, you're up. Josh says Memphis has a shot against any team out there. How dangerous can this Grizzlies group be?
I mean, I'm going to agree with you, Ja. As long as you're out there, you guys have a chance, and you are dangerous within your own right. I don't know how dangerous you guys are as far as going at the end of a game with the OKC Thunder or Anthony Edwards sitting over there. These guys, year in, year out, get better. And I feel like you need to pay more attention to making sure you guys make that jump because there's some guys that are on your heel.
Well, guys like maybe Anthony Edwards. Check this out. Ant was sitting courtside in Vegas when a young fan, he came up for an autograph, but here's the catch. You see Anthony Edwards wearing his jersey, and he was excited to sign that one. You think he's equally as excited to sign this one? Not enough bad blood to reject the signing the merch, though. The Wolves, they're currently 10-1 odds to win the West, according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook. That is one of the things I love about Summer League. You have a great chance. If you're a kid and you go to Vegas, you get to get an autograph, to meet your heroes. But this is tied with the Clippers for the 5th shortest odds in the conference. The Wolves, they've reached 2 straight Western Conference finals. Bobby, I'm going to start with you here. Do you see Ant and the Wolves taking the next step this season?
I do, but there's going to be an X factor here, Malika, and we're here in Las Vegas, and it's my X factor is Terrence Shannon Jr., who we've seen over the course of the last week. There's going to be a high expectation for Shannon Jr., not just to be part of this rotation with the loss of Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but contribute. We saw it in the playoffs here. He is the guy to keep an eye on as far as for Minnesota, a team that returns their starting 5 and certainly their core players with Dante DiVincenzo and Naz Reid. So it's certainly a big offseason for Minnesota, but I think it does start with Terrence Shannon Jr.
I think it's interesting seeing Berenjay there, also from France, also a center. I'm wondering how that's going to be long-term with Rudy Gobert, or if that is a plan to give the Timberwolves some flexibility here. But, Iman, when I say take the next step, it's tough. Because when you've gone to the Western Conference Finals 2 straight years, the next step is being better, beating OKC, and making it to the NBA Finals. That's tough.
I mean, it's a tough road, but the crazy thing is we all watch these playoffs, and we all know that Ant-Man learning how to play chess instead of checkers is going to be scary. And I say that to say the double team bothered him. It made him uncomfortable. It made him indecisive. When we watched that, I watched, and I've had to guard a little bit of everything. When I had to guard guys, when they turn their back to a double team and they're able to see what's coming, they're able to see what's available, it becomes so dangerous to even send the double team. When it becomes dangerous to send a double team, I don't know how many people can guard Anthony Edwards one-on-one. And when you see that at the end of the game, you can see them closing a lot of these games that they couldn't close down the stretch. They won based, I say checkers because they're just playing. You score, I score. You score, I score. But when he gets to that methodical, just, I'm getting to this spot. I'm going to get you your first foul at this time. I'm going to get you your second foul at this time.
Kind of what we saw Shea do.
Exactly. And when you see guys start to do that and they start to eliminate your gifts on the other end just because they figured it out, then you start to say that guy can play chess. He's a little more dangerous than I thought. Let's respect him.
Yeah, and look, Ant is an all-NBA player who is still ascending. He is still a developing young talent at 23 years old. I ran into Chris Finch when I was out in Vegas, and Finch talked about a step he wants to see Ant take this summer, and that's learning how to attack from the mid-range, like Shump's talking about here. You know, and I asked, okay, who's an example that does that really well? Talking about Kevin Durant, catching the ball in areas, making quick decisions, attacking quickly, that it's difficult to double team him. And, you know, that's the next step for Ant. He really improved as a decision maker this year. That's been a point of emphasis for Chris Finch with Ant over recent years. And I think Minnesota can be better next year, but when we talk about getting over the hump, the hump is the Oklahoma City Thunder, who is chock full of ascending talent. And let's just be honest, the conference finals, that was not a competitive series.
Right. And it's not out of the question to say that Oklahoma City is better than they were last year. They have the experience now. They have a championship under their belt. They know what it takes. Anthony Edwards is going to have to raise his game. The good news is his favorite player, Kevin Durant. Someone he studies, Kevin Durant. Someone he looks up to, Kevin Durant. And someone he took pride in beating, Kevin Durant. So if there's someone to get in the lab with or get in the lab and watch, you certainly know he's motivated to do that. All right, we got a busy show on ABC and ESPN+. But, Tim, just because you're not invited, it doesn't mean you have to wait until you get to find out who will join the ranks of LeBron, Steph, Kobe, Wade, Dirk, Kevin Durant as the players who've won the ESPY for the best NBA player, because we get to hand out that award right now on this show. First, let's be reminded of the nominees. We start with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who already has a laundry list of awards this season. MVP, Finals MVP, West Finals MVP, the scoring champ, 32.7 points per game, the most ever in a title season. Nikola Jokic, he put together one of the best statistical seasons we've ever seen, joining 62 Oscar as the only players with at least 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists in a season. And Giannis had a historical year himself, going for at least 30 points, 11 boards, 6 dimes for the second straight season. Only Oscar Robertson had reached those marks previously. And Jason Tatum, he finished 4th in MVP voting, was a first-team All-NBA after going for nearly 27, 9, and 6 for a 61-win Celtics team this season. We certainly hope to see him healthy and on the floor soon. Those are the nominees for the ESPY for Best NBA Player, and we have the envelope, very official, right here. May I have a drum roll, please? Are y'all ready? And the ESPY for the 2026 award for the Best NBA Player, I appreciate the length of this drum roll, goes to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Shocker.
Another award to add to his trophy case. Iman, as the member of this panel that is the only one to actually win an ESPY award, do you think that they got it right here?
Of course. I mean, I know he's got a lot of other awards this year, but I can't see somebody more worthy. Like, when you put together a body of work like this, your team depends on you like this, is no secret, it's no surprise. He should get the award.
Look, some of that Supermax contract, he's going to have to go into, put into building. I don't know if a trophy case is going to work. Probably a trophy room in his house in OKC.
Trophy
Scoring title, conference finals MVP, finals MVP, regular old MVP. And look, I was told by some of his folks midway through the finals that MVP trophy was still sitting in its case in a corner of the house. Basically, we'll figure out where it goes after the final. The conference finals MVP was stashed away still in his locker. Part of this guy's greatness is he is laser focused. He still had business to take care of. You can figure out the decorations later on.
Now that the contract has been signed, though, I think we can come up with something pretty unofficial. If he can design something to be able to put those things away. Where's your ESPY award? We're going to have to design something for Iman, too.
I'm very much a guy that when I get awards and trophies, I give them to my parents.
Oh, that's a good thing. I love that.
My parents usually showcase them better than me. I'm not good at that either.
That's exactly, you know
I
what?
was there.
I should do that.
Hey, he knows where his ring is.
Yeah,
I saw
he
it
knows
during the
exactly
finals.
where that's at. Let's take a look at the rest of the NBA-related ESPY nominees. There's a couple more tonight. There's SGA, who's also nominated for the Best Athlete in men's sports. You got KD for record-breaking performance, Steph for championship performance at the Olympics, and then Tyrese Halliburton is up for Best Play for that Game 1 winner.
Man, I thought the MSG tire might have even been better, because then you get the choke sign.
That would have been good as well. Tim, you're invited to these awards.
Nice.
We don't have to wait for the ESPY awards to find out. We're going to have to wait for those, but we can hand out a few now. These are the NBA Todaysies. It's as fun as it is easy to say. We're going to crown the best of the best. We're going to start with the best dunks of the year. Here's our nominees here. Giannis coming in at number 4.
Oh, come on, get out of the way.
All over Nikola Vucevic.
Where did that take off from?
This is only number 4, though. So number 3, LeBron James turning back the
I was
clock.
in the building for this one.
The lefty.
Come on now.
The lefty
Come on now.
in traffic.
Quietly.
That's like Jordan in the finals, except for he threw it down.
And then you have Jalen Johnson. He loses the handle midair and yet still throws it down on Jalen Durant.
that face was very appropriate.
And then finally, when slow it down, it's even more impressive. Number 1, one of the most ridiculous poster jams.
Hey!
Come on.
Shaedon Sharpe. You know what? The Blazers, they're going to be a little bit of fun this year. They're going to be a league pass team to watch. All right. Now to hand out the NBA Todaysy for the best dime, the assist of the year, starting at number 4, Ja Morant with this oop from the ground.
Okay.
In fact, the pass fake was even better.
Santi Aldama. I mean, he did it while sitting down. And then, of course, you have Jokic making the list because he has to.
Gosh.
Facial expression does not change.
Wow.
Ever. And then at number 2, some rookie love. Reed Shepherd with the behind-the-back save to Tari Eason for the jam.
Doesn't get more perfect than that.
I can't get over the red courts, though. There's still a lot. It's still a lot for me. But number 1 is Brandon Pajemski with the pinpoint save
I see you.
here
Come on. I can see you.
to Jonathan Kuminga.
That's why you got to keep running, man. You just got to keep running.
You just have to put in effort until the final buzzer. He says vision?
You can't goggles if you can't even see where you're throwing the ball.
This is the best plays here. Number 4 is Josh Giddey's half-court game winner against the Lakers.
Hey!
He said, "Good day, mate."
Beautiful time to be in Chicago.
Oh, my goodness.
I was actually in L.A. when that shot went in, and the bar where I was got real quiet.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Jokic does this like once every couple of games.
It's how nonchalant he does.
And he doesn't care that it might cost him a little tick of field goal percentage.
Do the heave. Always do the heave. Ja Morant here, the 360 layup, and he switched hands. That's poetry in motion. Poetry in motion. Here you go, Tim. We have number 1, another game winner from Tyrese Halliburton. Not the one you were thinking of. I knew that was good.
Yeah.
As soon as he pulled up in the building, you just knew it was good.
And you knew we had a finals.
100%. You knew. I mean, you started to get the feeling around 2. All right, this is going to go at least 6, and then you got the feel. Oh no, this is going to go the entire distance. But that's the past. And Iman, here on NBA Today, we like to be in the business of also looking toward the future. So I want us all to take out our crystal ball here because we have a few more NBA Todaysies to give out and call your shot for this upcoming season. Iman, I'm going to start with you. The breakthrough player for the 2026 season. Who are you looking to hand this NBA Todaysies to? It's easy to say.
Oh, I'm looking in the crystal ball and I'm saying Iman Thompson. Amen.
Amen Thompson's from Iman Shumpert.
My bad. Yeah.
Yep.
I just think that he has incredible gifts as a young talent. But I think that he reminds me so much of the gifts that I saw Andrew Wiggins have, where it's like you don't even know why you're that good yet. And the scary thing about Amen Thompson is he has that mean streak and he has that grit and that I'll dive in the cameras. I didn't see that in Andrew Wiggins, and it's no knock to Drew. It's just when you see a different caliber of that dog energy.
Yep.
I'm excited to see what happens next to Kevin Durant.
Yeah, it's been a heck of an offseason for the Houston Rockets as well. All right, out in Vegas, Bobby, let's look into your crystal ball here. What player do you think is going to break out this season?
I think it's Paolo Banchero, and you're probably saying, wait a minute, how does a guy who made an all-star game and just signed a $239 million extension fit here? And Malika, I look at the body of work in the beginning of the season. I think there's another gear for where Paolo can go, certainly on the court in this Orlando team that has gotten significantly better. How about a top 15 player next year in the NBA? I think he can potentially get to that level there. So for me, Paolo Banchero could be the breakout player for next season for an Orlando team that has certainly a lot of expectations.
I like it. Mr. McMahon.
First of all, Crystal Bald was just rude to Bobby, Malika, okay? That was not nice.
I didn't even hear that. I didn't even hear that.
Listen, I'm going to go out on
we love you.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this number 1 overall pick from a few years ago, who's unlike any talent that we've ever seen, is going to have a breakout year. Knock on wood that Victor Wembanyama stays healthy. We have seen that he can be the most dominant defensive player in the league. Offensively, he's still just scratching the surface of his potential as a 7'5" fluid athlete with touch. I mean, you see the guy can dunk it from anywhere on the floor, much less score from anywhere on the floor. I think Wemby, the ascension to All-NBA, first-team All-NBA, can he get the Spurs in the playoff picture?
Yeah.
If so, we're going to talk about him as an MVP candidate.
Absolutely. There's a very fluid definition here of breakthrough. I'm going to go with Andrew Nembhard. If he can play the way that he did in the NBA Finals, what's the face for here?
I like it. I like
just think that if he can play the way that he did in the Finals, think that he's going to have a bigger role here with Tyrese Halliburton out and so many injuries here for the Pacers and things changing over. I really think that we could be talking about him as having a bigger, more permanent role if we see what we saw in the Finals.
Without a doubt, he impressed me.
Yeah,
the
me
whole
too.
Finals, the whole playoffs, really.
And we've seen him as a defensive force, a complimentary player. We're going to see him with the ball in his hands as the Pacers' point guard this year.
3 assists, 2 blocks in these 3 Summer League games.
Let's get it.
Now welcoming in Portland Trailblazers first-round pick Yang Hansen and his translator Chris. Gentlemen, we really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us a little bit. I am curious, what's the biggest difference you see between playing basketball in the United States and playing basketball in China?
你来说说在中国和美国打球最大的不同是什么？
我觉得美国这边更快，然后打球更坚决一点，就是过了半场以后就有机会就扔了。然后中国更偏向于慢一点，然后去磨磨阵地、跑战术。
The NBA they got faster pace, and everyone just really go hoop, and just if you get shot, you take it. But in China, maybe be more organized, like they want to play some specific, plays on the court. Yeah.
We've heard in some of your interviews that you already have some favorite English phrases. Can you share some of those with us? And also any food that you've had here in America that's already rising to the top of your list? What's been your favorite?
能不能再说说你学了什么英语？除了昨天晚上说那些，然后还有一些你最喜欢的美国的吃的食物是什么
Noodle.
Oh, some noodles?
Yeah, noodles and 就是咱们之前去在美那边吃了很多炒菜，然后中餐馆什么的，咱们还没有尝试过当地的一些特色美食，然后尝了尝那边的 hamburger.
And also some Chinese restaurant in Portland. I don't have time to go everyone. But when I back to Portland, I will go try. I know some local burger. That's pretty good too.
Yeah, I caught hamburger in the mix there. Portland is a great food city, so there's going to be plenty that you're trying. This is one of my favorite things, is to see a player who maybe isn't sure exactly if they're going to be taken or not in the first round, and to go anyway, to attend at Barclays Center, to be out in the stands. Can you just take us through what was going through your head when you finally heard your name be called here?
当他们喊你的名字的时候，你当时脑袋是怎么想的？
非常的惊喜和诧异吧，就是，然后在场面那时候坐着来那边还吃炸鸡呢，还刚吃完炸鸡，所以说还没想到自己那么快被选，然后准备再来那边，就是跟旁边人聊会儿天，然后他们跟我说你要穿西装了。
I mean, for sure it's a big shock for me. I mean, I just surprised when Adam called my name. That surprised me. I was just sitting there finishing my fried chicken, and I didn't even put my suit on. Like suddenly they told me, Hansen, like take your suit on. I said, huh? And they just take it on. And suddenly, so when camera caught me, I still tried to make the suit looks good.
然后那时候在那穿西装的时候，还那边又来拿湿巾擦半天手，怕我的炸鸡上面的沫沫弄到我西装上。
Before I touch my suit, I still use tissue to clean my hand. I don't want the oil mess up with my suit.
Oh, smart man. We need to get the man a napkins for his snacks next time. That's very, very important. It's a long night. You want to become prepared. Final question before we let you two go here. Hansen, when you look ahead at your NBA career, what's your goal? What do you want to achieve in this league?
展望一下自己的未来，就是你在 NBA 你的目标是什么？
就是新赛季能够去教练让我上场的话，就打好每一分钟，然后做好自己该做的事情。然后作为一个新秀，作为一个 Luka， 就是不可能就是说怎么样带领球队能取得多少胜利，所以说就是做好自己该做的事情。
I mean, to be honest, I can't say anything big. If CB or coach uses me in the game, I will treasure every minute I have. I mean, I just try to do my job well. I focus on my own game. I mean, in the long term, I just want to become a versatile player. Try to help my team as more as I can, like grab more wins. Yeah, that's it.
That's an excellent bite-sized goal to be able to be looking at this step by step. Hansen, Chris, thank you so very much for the time and for stopping by NBA Today. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.